Boudica, warrior queen of the Iceni. The year is 60 AD. The place, ancient Britain, a land of mist-shrouded forests and rolling hills. Imagine a fierce warrior queen, her red hair ablaze against the backdrop of a stormy sky. This was Boudica, queen of the Iceni tribe, leading her people in a desperate revolt against the might of the Roman Empire. When her husband, King Prasutagus, died, the Romans saw an opportunity to seize control of the Iceni kingdom. They disregarded Prasutagus's will, annexed the Iceni lands, publicly flogged Boudica, and raped her daughters. This act of unprovoked aggression ignited a firestorm of anger and resentment among the Iceni and neighboring tribes, who united under Boudica's banner to fight for their freedom. The Roman Empire, a force that prided itself on order and discipline, had underestimated Boudica's resolve. Her people, fueled by righteous fury and a thirst for vengeance, rose up in rebellion. Their target was Camulodunum, modern-day Colchester, a symbol of Roman authority and a painful reminder of their subjugation. Boudica's forces stormed the city, laying waste to Roman buildings and settlements. The streets ran red with the blood of Roman citizens and collaborators, a testament to the brutality of the conflict. The attack on Camulodunum sent shockwaves through Roman Britannia. The rebellion spread like wildfire, engulfing other Roman settlements, including Londinium and Verulamium. The speed and ferocity of Boudica's advance took the Romans by surprise, forcing them onto the defensive. At the heart of Boudica's military strategy lay a weapon that struck terror into the hearts of Roman soldiers: the Celtic war chariot. This was no ordinary chariot designed for ceremonial processions or leisurely rides. The Celtic war chariot was a masterpiece of design. It featured large, sturdy wheels reinforced with iron rims, capable of navigating the uneven terrain of ancient Britain. These chariots were lightweight and highly maneuverable, allowing for rapid charges and swift retreats. Long, sharp blades were attached to the axles, transforming the chariot into a deadly scythe that could cut through enemy ranks with ease. The chariots were manned by skilled warriors armed with spears, javelins, and swords, who could rain down a storm of projectiles or engage in close-quarters combat. The psychological impact of the Celtic war chariot on Roman soldiers cannot be overstated. The sight and sound of dozens of chariots charging towards their lines, blades glinting in the sunlight, wheels thundering across the battlefield, was enough to demoralize even the most seasoned Roman legionary. The chariots disrupted these formations, creating chaos and confusion in the Roman ranks. The speed and maneuverability of the chariots made them difficult targets for Roman javelin throwers, while the blades made it perilous for them to stand their ground. The sight of Roman soldiers breaking ranks and fleeing in terror before the onslaught of chariots only served to embolden Boudica's forces and solidify her reputation as a fearsome warrior queen. Boudica's tactical genius lay not only in her understanding of the chariot's capabilities, but also in her ability to exploit its strengths through hit-and-run tactics. Her warriors would launch swift and devastating charges, disrupting Roman formations and inflicting heavy casualties, before retreating just as quickly as they had advanced. The Romans, weighed down by their armor and equipment, were ill-equipped to pursue the highly mobile chariots. The chariots, on the other hand, could dictate the pace and location of the battle, choosing when and where to strike. They were constantly kept on edge, never knowing when or where the next chariot charge would occur. This psychological pressure, combined with the physical toll of the fighting, began to wear down the Roman legions. Boudica's understanding of the British terrain was another key factor in her early successes. She knew that the dense forests, rolling hills, and marshy lowlands of Britain would be a significant obstacle for the Romans, who were accustomed to fighting in more open terrain. Boudica used this knowledge to her advantage, choosing battlefields that would hinder the Roman legions and give her chariots the upper hand. She would lure the Romans into unfavorable positions, using the terrain to ambush them or to launch surprise attacks. The unpredictable weather, with its sudden downpours and thick fog, often disrupted Roman logistics and hampered their movements, giving Boudica's forces a further advantage. Despite her early victories and tactical brilliance, Boudica's rebellion was ultimately crushed at the Battle of Watling Street. The Romans, under the command of Gaius Suetonius Paulinus, had learned from their previous encounters with the British chariots. They chose a battlefield that favored their legions, a narrow valley where the chariots would have limited room to maneuver. The Romans also deployed their legions in a more flexible formation, leaving gaps for the chariots to pass through before closing ranks to surround and engage them. Boudica's forces, vastly outnumbered and outmaneuvered, fought bravely, but were ultimately defeated. Boudica, unwilling to be captured by the Romans, is said to have taken her own life. Though her rebellion was crushed, her legacy lived on. She became a symbol of British resistance against Roman rule, her name whispered in hushed tones long after her death.